I'm selecting the asset valuation structure, that is inventory valuation structure, or maybe I'm naming it as inventory cost profile. Okay, so for that I selected the valuation structure that I created, and the cost method. I selected the cost method also. And you have to select the cost component group that you have created. Cost component group. Okay. Now I'm saving, and I'm going to create now expense cost profile. I'm going to create expense cost profile. Expense, and I'm selecting the cost method as standard, not average, and enter the expense valuation structure and add the cost component group. Add the cost component group. Okay, so here, when defining the cost profile, three things we did. We selected the cost method, and we added the valuation structure, and we have added the cost component group also. Okay. And other fields, you can make it default. No need to touch them. Other fields, you can keep it as just default. Now, valuation unit, the last two configurations, 9 and 10. 11th configuration is not required. It's just it's not a setup, it's a functionality. So step number 9 and 10, setup number 9 and 10 will do it. Okay. Valuation unit. Under valuation structure, we selected valuation you wanted to see at which level. We created valuation structure, right? When creating the valuation structure,
cost org and org.
We selected the valuation to see at the cost org level and inventory org level. Which cost ordination, which inventory ordination? That is nothing but valuation unit. So I'm navigating to the valuation unit. Select the cost org, enter the cost book and valuation unit. And so here also same. Inventory, nothing but asset valuation unit. And select inventory valuation structure. So under the structure, this is setup number 4. This is setup number 4 here. Here we selected, we wanted to see the valuation breakup by org level, by cost org level and inventory org level. Okay. So which cost org and which inventory ordination that you're going to mention here. So here I selected in the valuation structure, I selected the cost org and inventory ordination. That's why it is asking you to enter that cost ordination and that inventory ordination. Understood?
Yes, Krishna.
Okay. So valuation structure, you selected, you want to see the costing valuation under which breakup, which level. So I selected the cost org and inventory ordination. And this has to be repeated for the remaining inventory ordinations also. Under the valuation unit, we are actually entering the actual cost org and actual inventory org. I added 3 inventory ordinations. So this is what type of valuation unit? This is asset valuation unit. Okay. Now, similarly, we have to create expense valuation unit also. Select the cost organization, select the cost book, select the cost book. Expense valuation unit, and we created a valuation structure for expense also. Select that and add the actual cost org and inventory organizations here. You can ignore that warning and you can continue to add the inventory organizations. Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Chennai, all the three. Suppose in the valuation structure, when creating the valuation structure, you selected cost org, inventory org, and sub-inventory. If you select like that, then you have to select cost organization, inventory organization, followed by the sub-inventory also. Okay. Good with the valuation unit. Now the last configuration is very, very important configuration. Default cost profile. Okay. So yesterday, I discussed about the cost method control. What is that? You can control at org level, and you can control at item level, and then item category level. These three. So which level you want to control the cost method? That's nothing but the last configuration. Important configuration. Default cost profile. Default cost profile. So cost method, the standard costing, we selected under which setup team? The standard costing we selected under which setup? Under cost profile, right? While defining the cost profile, we selected the cost method called standard costing, correct? That is nothing but cost profile is holding the costing method. Now, I'm doing the last configuration. Okay. Now, if you wanted to control the cost method at cost org level, this is cost org. If you want to control at cost org level, then select the cost org and select the cost method. Cost method in the sense cost profile. Understood? Directly, we are not adding the cost method to the cost org. we are adding through the cost profile. In the cost profile, we selected the cost method, right? Which cost method we selected in the cost profile? Standard. Okay. If you assign this cost profile to the cost ordination, so this cost ordination is going to follow standard costing method. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now select the cost book. Okay. After selecting the cost book, everything is gone up. That's fine. If you don't want to control at category level, if you just want to control at org level, then don't put the category. If you want to control at the category level, then you have to put the category here. You have to put the category here. Here the categories are not displaying. Why the sorry. Here these are all the categories. So all these categories created under which catalog? Under the costing catalog that is assigned to which functional area? Costing functional area. In the product management, we discussed about item catalog and category configuration, right?
Yes.
To the costing module, whichever the catalog that you assigned, under that catalog, all these categories are available. Okay. Suppose if any raw material category is there, no, it's not there. Okay. Or else for full clarity, I will create and show you also. First, we go and check which catalog is assigned to the costing functional area. Under that catalog, we define the categories, okay? Setup and maintenance and product management. Under that catalogs and categories, go to the functional area. Now, if I sort by the ascending order, I can see all the modules first. And for all these modules, for the costing module, where is the costing? Here. You see, cost. For the costing module, which catalog is assigned? This catalog is assigned. Under this catalog, whichever the categories that you configured, that will be displayed over there. Whatever the categories that you are creating are going to display under costing module. Raw material category or FG category.
So, Krishna, how is this linked to the item? Because the item.
I have not as of now discussed about the item. Okay, I'm talking about org level and category level. Okay, I have not yet come to the item level discussion.
So now my question is like, this category is linked to item category, right? At some way or the other, or
okay.
no?
Of course, right. When you're creating an item, you have to assign to the, you no need to assign also. Suppose if when you're defining the item, okay, suppose you selected costing attribute to yes. You selected costing attribute to yes, then automatically this cost category get assigned. We have seen that.
Okay.
The moment you save the item, automatically the categories and catalogs getting assigned.
Okay, it automatically gets it from the costing profile.
It automatically get assigned because your item is enabled for the costing. Since your item is enabled for the costing, so for the costing module, here you see for the costing module, which catalog is assigned, this catalog get automatically assigned to your item. Automatically. Okay. And suppose let's take you are creating item 001, 0001. So since you enable costing to yes, automatically this catalog is get assigned. And also by default, there is a default category is there. that default category will be assigned against that item. But this default category, you can change it to whatever category that you want.
Okay.
You no need to do anything. Just you come to the catalog screen, and if you don't like this default category, you change it to the category that you created under this catalog. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
This I've seen, shown you in the classes also. Right, 51 batch. Do you remember?
Yes,
So
Krishna.
if the purchase is, I've given the example of purchase attribute. Suppose if the purchase attribute is yes, then automatically whatever the catalog that you assign to the procurement module, to the procurement functional area, whatever the catalog that you created, and under that catalog, whatever the default catalog you mentioned, that got automatically assigned.
Correct.
Since the item is a purchased item. Okay.
So, I mean, sorry, I mean, this can be a very basic question, but I can't stop myself from asking.
No problem.
So the costing, so let's say if item is both costing enabled and purchasing enabled,
Okay.
so which catalog will get assigned? Because
All. I mean, for the procurement, whatever the catalog that you map, suppose in this case,
Mhm.
in this case, to the purchasing, this catalog is assigned.
correct.
So suppose if the item is purchasable item, you enabled it, then this
Mhm.
catalog, under this catalog, whatever the default category is there, that will be assigned. The default category is electronic category.
Okay,
This
so
will
because
be, this will be assigned. Okay, you can change this category at the
Okay.
item level.
so the costing will no longer be will not have effect, right? Because
So these
costing
catalogs you are creating for purchasing. Okay, whatever the catalog that you are creating under this, so this catalog map to purchasing, right? So
Mhm.
these catalogs and categories will be displayed under purchasing model only. Like I'm mentioning. So here in this configuration, we are in the costing. Whatever the categories that you see here, all these categories are from which catalog? Are from this catalog. Why from this
Right, yeah.
catalog? Because this is assigned to the costing.
Got
These categories, it won't display under other modules. It won't display because this catalog is assigned to costing, and it is assigned to quality also. So this catalog and categories, it will be assigned to or visible to these two modules only. It's not visible to purchasing.
Purchase. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I have further question, but I'll probably ask in the end, so I don't waste
Please.
class time.
Please, because
Yeah.
this is already covered.
Right.
If any questions are there, note it down and ask me at the end.
And
This is
yeah,
already covered in the product management module discussion.
right.
Okay. Now, what we have done under this costing catalog, we created two categories, correct? What are those? RM and FG. We created these two. Okay. Now, here, let me see, without closing the screen. So I mentioned as 50, yeah? Sorry,
51.
51. Yeah, I want to change the name. If I go to details, I can change the name. Code, it will allow me to change. Let me try. Okay. Code also it allowed me to change. Now, this is for the RM. Changing the names of these categories. I want them to be displayed here. Okay, see. Understood? Suppose for raw RM, for this category, you wanted to follow standard costing method. Then you have to assign which cost profile? Standard costing cost profile. Understood? So this profile is standard costing profile. You assign the standard costing profile to the RM category. So similarly, you create one more cost profile for the average also. If you want the average cost profile, you want to assign to finished good category, you assign to the finished good category. Understood? Not clear. So if you just don't enter the category, if you don't enter the category here, that means cost method, we are controlling at which level? Org level. If you enter the category here, the cost method, we are controlling at which level? Category level.
Category level.
So from category to category, you can have a different cost profiles. That means if you want to follow both standard and average, you have to create standard cost profile and you have to create average cost profile. The standard cost profile you assign to the categories, and then the average cost profile you assign to the average item categories. Everyone clear? Not clear? Let me know. Don't be quiet.
Clear.
Don't be quiet. If you're not clear, let me know. You are doing a mistake. If you are quiet and you are convincing yourself, you are doing a mistake. Big mistake you are doing.
Clear, sir.
You're skipping yourself. You're skipping your success. You're skipping your future. Many of you don't ask questions. You will be quiet. No questions and nothing. Whatever sir is telling, that's let it. If you want me to repeat, I'll repeat. This is important configuration. Otherwise, I'll go with my flow. Okay. Now, so I'm removing the categories, which means I would like to go with the org level control. Okay. Now add the asset cost profile and expense cost profile. These two are standard and which we are adding to our cost ordination. Under this cost ordination, how many inventory ordinations are there? Three. So all those three inventory ordinations transactions are going to follow which cost method?
Standard.
Standard.
And
Okay. Now this new item profile creation is nothing but whenever new item is created, automatically for that new item, this cost profile get assigned automatically. Okay. Suppose for the new item, if this cost profile is assigned, that means the new item is going to follow which method? Standard costing method. Okay. You want to review that? You want to review that, or you are okay with the automatic assignment? Review is not required. Okay. In the current project, we enable the review. Whenever any new item is created, there is a review screen. You have to go to that review screen. You have to manually approve. It's a pain for us. After the new item is created, in the costing, that new item every time should be approved. That is a pain. So unnecessary to enable the review required, just make it to auto so that when the new item is created, automatically the new item gets assigned to these cost profiles. Okay. Now I'm just talking about only these two. The cost method, how you control at org level, and then how you control at category level. Now I will discuss about item level also. Okay. I'm saving the screen team. Good.
Yeah.
This is default cost profile screen. Now, if you want to control the cost method at item level, you see, manage item level cost profile. Manage item level cost profile. So in this case, you have to put every item here. Every item you have to enter here. Okay. You see the item list. Now you select the item and you select the cost profile. Good. Understood?
Yes, Krishna.
This is item level. So this item is going to follow which cost method? Standard.
Standard.
Because you assigned a